Hi, I want to tell you something before this episode begins because this one is different. I have been hosting Scaling Vision for a while now. I've had doctors, entrepreneurs, surgeons, builders who have built empires right from scratch. But this one is different because I have never sat across someone like this. My guest today is Dr. Major Shantanu Mukerji. His family has given four generations of army veterans to this country. Four generations. His great grandfather served, his grandfather served, his father served, and he also served. He was deployed in counter-insurgency in northeast India, one of the most dangerous and least talked about places in the country. And then in 1999, he served at Kargil. Now, I'm a doctor. I understand what physical trauma does, how it shows, and what it does to your body, and also what it leaves behind. But what knowledge a soldier carries, that is a different kind of knowledge. They sit with it quietly. Nobody asks them what they have been through, but I did. What I discovered in this conversation that India has a very strange relationship with its soldiers. We celebrate them loudly, we put them on posters, we celebrate them. But when they come home, we move on. We don't ask what they saw, we don't ask what they carry. I asked. And Dr. Major Shantanu Mukherjee told me, and I was not prepared for this. This is not a military briefing, this is not a patriotic job. This is one man's honest take about what it means to be an army man in this country and what the country does and does not give back to them. This is the first time he has been on a long form video. I want you to sit with it as it should be done, not on a 1.5x multiplier. Just sit with it and absorb what he has to say. Because Major Mukherjee sat with it a lot before he agreed to come and talk to us about it. This is Dr. Sameer Gade. Keep watching. Dr. Major Shantanu Mukherjee. First time I'm interviewing a Fauji. And thank you for giving me your time. Welcome to the podcast, sir.
Thank you so much, Sameer. It was actually my pleasure to be out here. And I've heard so much about you, and I'm always seeing you on the screen every day and hearing so good things about you.
It's an honor.
Congratulations to you.
It's an honor. And thank you for your service, sir.
Grateful.
I want people to know कि आप एक डॉक्टर भी हैं, you're a major, and you come from a family of, you're a fourth generation
defense officers.
Yeah.
This thing.
So कैसा रहता है सर इस घर में जहाँ फोर्थ जनरेशन से सब इसी प्रोफेशन में है?
Well, to be very frankly, something, it comes the first thing, the child is born in a family which has got a background to all defense forces. So from the very childhood, you see this discipline. There's something called, kind of thing कि there has to be an SOP kind of thing for each and everything. खेलने जाएंगे इतने बजे वापस आएंगे, ये करेंगे इतने बजे वापस आएंगे. So that was one thing. But later on, you hear the stories of your father, your grandfathers and everything. You see the medals, you see everything shining, the Faujis and everything. Then you start understanding it and start reciprocating in such a way कि आप उसको एक respect दे. So I have always, when I was growing up, I always felt this is good. This is my life. It is my father's life. It's my grandfather's life. It's my great uncle's life and everybody's. So ऐसे ही फौज होना चाहिए. So it was something imbibed into me from the very childhood कि life has to be like this only.
तो बचपन से ही डिसाइड हो गया था सर कि यही जाना है?
नहीं, डिसाइड तो देखो ऐसा है कि फौज में जाना ये थोड़ा तो हर एक का इंक्लिनेशन होता है. आई यूज्ड टू रीड दोस कमांडो कॉमिक्स आल्सो इफ यू हर्ड अबाउट दैट. सो बट लेटर ऑन इट हैपेंस कि यू ट्राई टू सी कि इफ देयर आर एनी अदर एस्पेक्ट्स आल्सो. बट आई फाइनली रियलाइज नहीं, फौज ही हमारे लिए बेस्ट है. इट विल गिव मी बोथ काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स that which I'm looking for, the adventure part of it, and of course that honor part of it of wearing the olive green. So that's something, it's nothing can be better than that.
तो आप MBBS के बाद फिर इसमें गए?
हाँ जी सर, मैं actually I did my MBBS from Government Medical College Jodhpur.
जी.
And then I was trying to pursue my post graduation. Then somehow I felt कि let's try for the army. I got selected, and one thing which I can boast of कि all over like the whole of India, this thing. So I stood 4th in India
क्या बात है?
for that selection part of it among the doctors.
Oh,
So that's the best thing that I've achieved in my life till now.
okay.
So then I joined the Army Medical Corps as a medical officer in 1995.
I'll tell you, sir, when I was in my residency in Pune, तो वहाँ AFMC से एक डॉक्टर ट्रेनिंग के लिए आते थे.
हाँ जी.
For 2 weeks के लिए आए
Okay.
थे, पर्टिकुलर सर्जरी की ट्रेनिंग के लिए. सर वो हमेशा उनकी गाड़ी आती थी. देयर वाज जो शोफर था या ड्राइवर था, ही वाज आल्सो सम आर्मी ट्रेनिंग प्रोबेबली. तो सर वो जब गाड़ी आती थी, जो डिसिप्लिन से गाड़ी रुकती थी, टू कम आउट, ओपन द डोर, सल्यूट मिलता था वो. एंड सर आप लोगों की जो मूवमेंट होती है ना, इट इज़ वेरी क्रिस्प, यू नो. ऐसा समझ में आता है कि दिस इज़ अ मैन और अ वुमन इन वेरी डिसिप्लिन्ड. आप ऐसे बहुत अलग था सर. मतलब इट वॉज एन ऑनर फॉर अस ऑल्सो टू. उनका सीखने का भी तरीका सर मैंने जो देखा है, इट इज़ सो ईजी. आप लोग अडेप्ट बहुत जल्दी से करते हो चीज़ें. ये ट्रेनिंग में सिखाया जाता है क्या सर?
नहीं समीर, देखो, सी द थिंग इज कि आर्मी इज बेसिकली डिसिप्लिन. दैट्स द फर्स्ट थिंग विच कम्स. So everything has to be in that right order only. Then comes the integrity part of it.
Right.
Ki how you want to behave and everything. And again, once you're actually wearing the uniform, what happens ki you have to be what the uniform is supposed to be. So isme ki, like if you see, like you're talking about the person coming and the drivers there. So you the salute and everything, so that automatically gives the military training. That's called the military bearing of the thing, of the person. And that never goes. Okay. When you're in service, you still remain like that. When you're even out of service also, still you behave or walk in that exactly the same way only.
Right. पर एक डॉक्टर who chooses to go into the defense sector, आपके लिए कुछ अलग roles and responsibilities होते हैं कि you are doing the same things?
See, army requires, or the armed forces requires people from all professions.
Right.
And medical is one of them.
Right.
One of the oldest one, like it's almost 264 years old right now, in Army Medical Corps. So what happens ki, like once you are there, you think of 2 or 3 more things. As a medical profession, you are expected that you know everything about medicine. That's one thing, which everybody is doing it.
Right.
Then what happens ki you have to treat patients or who are actually injured people in combat zones.
Right.
So which generally normally people don't do.
बराबर.
So that's a different part. Here, you know, that great part of yours comes कि you are in a very field areas, you are in the combat zone, you are in a very difficult area, and you don't have that kind of facility. You are not in a super 5-star hospital. You are in the field and you have to treat, and there's a gunshot wound, there's a blast injury, even there could be a snake bite, or even there could be anything else also.
Bullet injury, कुछ भी हो
anything could be there, even normal things. And like, you know, in different locations we have got regional infectious disease also. Like if you go to northeast, you will find that's called as empty malaria. That's also quite fatal. But you don't have something like कि आपको diagnosis करेंगे and then you will treat. You have to understand clinically, with the clinical opinion, understand things and do it. And then we have got, as a medical professional, you are a very big aid to the civil authorities. Wherever there is disaster, there is something like if you say the floods are coming, or there is like the earthquake is there, or some other thing happening, the army is always called up.
बराबर.
So now the army is called up. See, the engineers, they repair the bridges. So they have got a role. Now what happened, there are people who are also getting injured, or there are people who really need. It's not that the defense forces people only require, the civilians who are there.
True.
Our countrymen who are there. So that is the time we come into picture. Like if you see nowadays, if you go to, even as a tourist, if you go to say Leh Ladakh, many a times people, you know, don't realize, and some lady or some man, they feel breathless, and then they start getting headaches, and those, so they could be into high altitude sickness. So where do they go? They again go back to the army hospital. The Fauji is out there. So that is how, you know, the role of a defense personnel or a medical officer is very different. He's having a very broad aspect to the treatment part.
प्राइमरी आपको केयर तो सीखना ही पड़ता है ऑन द ग्राउंड. आपको बैटल रेडी भी बनाते हैं फिर?
Yes. So what happens ki medical officers, once they get selected, so once you go for a training basic course, so that's called as MOBC, medical officer basic course. That's in Lucknow. As Lucknow is the training center for us. Okay. So there you learn how to do the drills, you learn the weapon handling, basic weapon handling, you learn how to wear the uniform, and as you said, that military bearing part of it. So those things are really given training part there. So they never give training about how about medicine तो आपको आता ही, अपने MBBS पास हुए तो आपको आता ही, you have done a post, you already know about it. So that is basically the training for the military part of it. And once you are ready with those 8 weeks of training, then you are posted to different units. And initially when you're young, so that is the time you are supposed to be in the field areas. Like if you go to the JNK part of it, so you will be in the border areas, or if you go to Northeast, you will be in Manipur, Nagaland, or somewhere in those areas. Whichever is the profession. And then you start feeling like, now this is the time I'm a Fauji.
तो आप कहाँ पोस्टेड थे सर?
देखिए सर, what happens कि when I after my training course, I went to 32 Rashtriya Rifles. So 32 Rashtriya Rifles that time was in Assam-Nagaland border.
जी.
So that's I'm talking about 1995. So that's some many years back.
Conflict था सर वहाँ तभी भी?
Yes, what you see right now, and then after that I was in Manipur. So conflict was always there. Assam had, and Naka militants were always there. Even Assam had DHDs and Ulfas, if you happen to know. So those militants group, right now there's a ceasefire and they have actually joined the governments also. So now it's all very peace out there. But in 1995, it was a very hotbed. It was really tough. And there were many a time there was skirmishes which are going on, and we were really deployed into those hotbeds at all times.
तो आप वहाँ क्या करते थे सर?
अरे देखिए सर, सबसे पहले तो जब हम पहुँचे तो एक जगह का नाम है माईबोंग, पहुँच गए वहाँ पे तो सबसे पहले फीलिंग आई थी, स्टेथोस्कोप तो सब था. तो द डे माय कमांडिंग ऑफिसर ही कॉल्ड मी एंड देन ही सेड, डॉक, आई होप यू आर रेडी, एंड इट वाज अ गोरखा रेजिमेंट. सो वेरी नाइस, हाँ सर, ऑल रेडी. सो नाउ यू टेक योर वेपन एंड देन बी battle ready. Good, battle ready. See, initially in Lucknow was a training with a normal rifle, and that first time I saw the AK-47. Oh my God! So that was something, out of the world. I think every child dreams of either becoming a pilot or becoming a soldier, like those kind of things. I also had dreamt of that. The moment I saw the AK-47, had it in my hand, oh, this is good. So that was basically for protection, and if you are fired upon, you fire also. It was both kind of things. So you are a soldier first in the defense forces, and of course then your profession also comes because you're wearing the same uniform, same color.
Yeah.
So life was fantastic, and combat zones are really, I would say, it's great. People do crib about it ki it is something difficult, but that's how it should be.
True. क्या देखा सर आपने उधर?
देखिए, like
what kind of injuries have you seen?
I'll go last to the injury part of it.
Right.
I'll come back to the basic thing was like I was the only doctor in that area. That was a very difficult area, and how we used to reach, I'll tell you later on. So somewhere the civilian population also were there. So they had never had any medical setup or any, like you say, PHCs or rural hospital, nothing was there in those places. So I was the only doctor, and I was something like became a god for them because I could treat so many basic illnesses also. First thing was malaria. Very difficult because that was all, malignant tertiary malaria. People used to die of that. Then normal, if you say infections were common, very common. And then there were snake bites. Because snake bites are very common and they could never reach a hospital. So there we used to do with understand what kind of venom it is, and you give anti-snake venom and you treat them. So basic treatment was something like those kind of things, infectious disease and everything. Once in a while what used to happen ki there are many women who were into labor and they had puerperal sepsis, but there were no antibiotics because there was no hospital. They used to do the local therapies. Local means could be their tribal therapies, whatever but many times they never used to survive also, and that is the time we came and they used to come to us. We always used to treat them very well. मेरे साथ जो फौजी थे वो generally they were all fit young people, no? So they were generally fit and fine. But the people actually whom I was treating was the civil people in those remote areas.
आप वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट में भी डिप्लॉय हुए कभी सर?
हाँ जी, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट में तो सर ऐसा था कि हम जब पहुँचे वहाँ पे इट वाज एब्सोल्युटली CI ऑप्स एरिया, इट इज़ काउंटर ऑप्स एरिया. So there is, you are always under protection, and anytime there could be firing, there could be ambushes, there could be everything. So there you learn everything about how to survive in those difficult locations, start fighting, start learning, and how to handle weapons and what to do after that. If suppose there's a firing which is there on a camp, or if there's a firing on people who are like walking around, say doing a area domination or something else, then what to do? So, and you're also a soldier, so you also learn everything. In addition, you also start treating them also. You need to have those kind of things. So it was, something, that area was really, it's in my memory. The moment I close my eyes, open my eyes, I see everything, the first day and everything types.
क्या होता है सर काउंटर इंसर्जेंसी में? क्या करते हैं आप?
What happens ki, like in CI ops area, like if we say JNK also, so that is more, people can relate more to it. See, there are insurgents who are being fed by people from outside a country to fight against the establishment in some form or the other forms. So because they're just trying to create a ruckus so that, you are busy into that, the development of the country goes down. So that's generally the principle. Or the other nation wants that you are unnecessarily getting, disturbed into those kind of things. So now the military has to go. Initially they start with the local police. If they can't handle, then finally the armed forces are deployed for that. So once the armed forces go, so they are basically trying to control the militancy. So in controlling the militancy, you have to interact with them also. Interact is not like talking. It's basically more of firing to each other. No? So either he fires or you fire. So basically controlling in that form. So CIFs is basically in those combat zones, you interact with militants or terrorist organizations who are having the best quality weapons, and they are trying to attack on you or your establishment someplace.
पर सर नॉर्थ ईस्ट में जब आप थे,
हाँ जी सर,
वहाँ पे तो सर वो लोकल लोग ही थोड़ा सा एंटी एस्टेब्लिशमेंट हो गए थे.
देखिए अभी जैसे लाइक आई वाज इन मणिपुर. सो मणिपुर, लाइक राइट नाउ मणिपुर आल्सो वेरी हॉट. So Manipur has got a ethnic, their tribes. They are all basically your tribes. So the tribal the superiority is always there. Ki like they want to have a upper hand from the other tribe. Like Manipur had Kukis and Paites. Maitis are from Imphal.
Okay.
So there were three kind of things. So the PLA is basically from Maitis, Kuki, KNF and Maites. So they are the tribal people who are there. On the hills they are Kukis and they are called Zayam also, something like that. So the Kuki and Paida, they're fighting in the hills, and then when you go to the flat lands, that's Imphal, so there you have the Maitis. So now they are all tribes, or they are of that ethnic people, and they are trying to hold their I want to make a greater kind of this, my region, or I'm trying to make a greater kind of this. So they are having infightings between themselves. Now the defense force is also there, so they are trying to control it also. Now the moment you start controlling them, they are firing at you also. So what do? So you are in the combat zone, you have to fire it back, or you have to control them also, no? So that's how the things happen, and it was really bad in 95, 96 and 97. So it was not that comfortable during that time. Then later on other states like Assam and other places, it became a bit this thing.
ऐसा कभी लगता है सर कि I am firing back at my own countrymen? ऐसा feeling आता है सर कभी?
Just like we have got the hypocrite oath, so where we are supposed to teach whoever it is, you don't ask. And when you wear the uniform, you are supposed to, whatever the orders which is given by like we are commissioned by the President of India.
Right.
So we have to follow the orders. We don't question. Okay. Our thing is only one thing, just follow your superior orders. So that's what we do.
Wow.
Whatever they tell me to do, I'll do that.
That is our soldier function.
So right? I can't question back why this is, I can't have that logic kind of thing whether this is right or wrong. If the superior says it says you have to do it, you do it. If the country finally following the president's orders, so if they tell me to do it, I do it.
True. Moral conflict आप बाद में देख सकते हो उसके बारे में.
Moral conflict, say everything has got an emotional part of it, right, those kind of thing. But we don't never go into as per this thing. Everything as per the SOPs or everything as per the protocol that is laid down for us, how to go about doing things.
Okay. ऐसा क्या देखा सर आपने नॉर्थ ईस्ट में जो अभी भी आपके साथ है अभी भी कि बोल नहीं सकते कुछ?
The beauty of the place. Right now, if I say, if the tourism in that place is developed, like if you see Loktak Lake is one of the biggest, lakes, freshwater lakes out there, which can go into huge, beautiful destination for people to visit there. Then Northeast has got a lot of waterfalls. You have got different kind of cultures out there, different kind of food habits. People are very nice actually out there, and they are very good into art, culture, and those kind of things. So we are and very good. Like if you say they're very good in playing different kind of games also, like archery, football. So they are very good into that.
True.
They are into music and everything. So I feel somehow they are the people whom we are actually neglecting. We should go to them. We should reach out to them. We should reach out to their places. And which right now the government is actually doing it. Last 10 years we find that the whole Northeast is getting developed. And just because of that, you will find a lot of people, tourism also going there.
True.
So the moment tourism goes there, people is there, the development happens, everything, it's the cycle goes up.
Yeah.
All those militancies, except for one or two states, everywhere it is just gone down now. It's, people are also understanding that the growth is there. This government is actually pushing so much of growth into that area. So now people are happy about it.
Naxalism, I think, खत्म ही हो गया सर.
Achha, Naxal was in a different location. Like if you say right now, he, from Bastar region which was there. So from there he has already declared that by 2026 the Naxalism would always close. It started off from the different kind of location. So that's how the intention of the government is to control it, finish it off, let them join the mainstream, let the development go. That's what people want. You want happiness. You don't want to go on fighting in the jungles. No, you want happiness. You want comfortable. You want the children to study. You want the children to be educated. That's what we are looking for.
रेस्क्यू मिशंस जो आप करते हैं सर, करते होंगे, उसमें कैसे करते हैं सर? व्हाट
जैसे initially like you learn the weapon, that is one thing, and then what happens ki rescue mission, if there is some kind of injury and you understand, happen to know like there's a blast injury or ambush has taken place, so the reinforcements, what we call the next one, they basically go into that location. Those who are critically injured, you try to treat as a medical professional. I'll try to treat them in the best possible way, fluid replacement, whatever it is, and then we evacuate them to the nearest military hospital. So that could be by helicopters, or if there is some vehicle mobility, we can go as per that also. So that is one thing. And those who are really injured, so we treat them their location and the nearest hospital. That's what we are supposed to take. We take it.
You were also war wounded, na sir?
हाँ जी सर.
वो स्टोरी बताइए.
Sir, I remember the date was 17 June 1997. That was in Manipur. You just now said about the ethnic violence. So that Kukis and Paites were fighting. And that time the thing was really hot, but it was absolutely bad. So one of the foot patrols of our regiment, they had been out. So they had the conflict with the local militants out there. And in that we lost 3 soldiers. And few were injured. As a medical profession, so the first thing that came to, we went into the giving them first aid who were injured, so that we have that quick reaction team. So that quick reaction team, medical whole went there. So we treated those who were there, and when I was treating also, so that time the firing was also going on. So that putting up a Hemacil or even IV fluid was sort of, because from the other ridge the militants were firing at us also. So they don't see ki who is Fauji, the same uniform hai. But anyway, in those tough terrain, actually in the combat zone, I was treating them. And then those who were basically who couldn't survive, so then I was supposed to take them to Imphal for embalming of their bodies and then shifting to their families. That was the mortal remains have to be there. So initially, after treating all those, so I was taking the mortal remains to Imphal. And that was the time in between my vehicle was blown off. Though I was sitting in a bulletproof vehicle, I had my bulletproof jacket. So again we had casualties because the blast was there, vehicle was thrown up, we went into the ridge and whatever it is, again 3 people died. I was out of it. I was the lucky one to survive. I had a lot of injuries, but still I'm sitting in front of you. So I would say, by God's grace, I'm here.
कुछ major injury नहीं था हुआ था?
No, I had a lot of injuries because the splinters were there on my hands, my stomach, even the neck I had the injury, the knees were there. So, but I was in the hospital, but somehow, I was good enough to be alive out here. And the bulletproof jacket, that saved a lot because all the splinters were there. Like the driver, he didn't survive. The guy who was on the top handling the machine gun, he also couldn't survive. So that's why, I was injured there. That was in 97.
What is going on in your head, sir, जब ऐसा कुछ major incident हो जाता है?
Actually, major incident जैसे ये हुआ ना, when I was, I was conscious, sort of. So the moment I got up, the first thing that I came to my mind, which I was thinking could have been very different, अपने injured soldier कौन है, उनको treat कैसे करना है? But I don't know why it came. That actually I was also injured. But somehow I was telling her that उनको वो लगाओ, उनको pressure bandage लगाओ. मतलब they were evacuating the other people, the reinforcement, they were taking me to the military hospital. But in between I was telling them कि I see other people also injured, treat them, somehow,
तो SOP इतने ingrained होते हैं सर कि आप वही बात कर रहे थे तब, ऐसा था?
नहीं सर, actually कैसा होता है ना कि we are all, everybody is generally very patriotic. So automatically, and we always place, the men first. We never place ourselves first.
True.
So that's how it is. So automatically, as you said, it gets ingrained into a mind. It goes into it.
बराबर. तो आपको रिकवरी में कितना समय लगा था सर?
Initially, I got operated in Imphal, that was a military hospital in Limaugang. Then I was evacuated to Command Hospital, Calcutta. So I was there. I was around 6 months. I was doing a lot of surgeries, in out types. But then I went to even Pune also for my nerve surgery also at Southern Command, Pune. So it was a long process, but it happened. But right now I'm absolutely fine.
So if somebody was injured during battle,
yes,
जैसे आप,
हाँ,
so do you have to go through a process again to be fit for active duty फिर से?
See what happens कि the medical records, or not the medical board. So they will decide ki how fit or how unfit you are. And they will, as per that, they will give us six months of leverage kind of thing. Initially, you are downgrade on medical aspect part of it. You are in the services. You are able to do it if you like. You are able to do it, but you will be doing, may not be doing the very active combat zone duties.
Exactly.
So it is depending on the individual's disability that you actually, the medical board gives something. So like even in our hospital, we can also give same kind of thing. Civil hospital, same thing like that. So then say after 6 months, they will review, okay, now he's better off, he can go. But he may not go to the super field areas. He might go to a normal, say, in between kind of places.
Active combat zone नहीं भेजेंगे.
Not the absolute active. So in that way, it is decided by the medical board.
Right.
So every 6 months there's a review, and if you are fit and fine, it's good. So one of the battle casualty also, he became a major general also. So like without a leg also. So it's happened, it's there.
कारगिल में भी थे ना सर आप?
हाँ जी सर.
उस वक्त आप कहाँ थे मतलब?
अरे वो तो कारगिल वाला तो इंसिडेंट तो बहुत बढ़िया है. मतलब what happened, like in 99 3rd May, infiltration started off. Everybody would be knowing about it because that was the first time a live telecast was happening of actually what's happening. So 3rd May it happened, then 5th May something happened, that very bad incident of that our 5 officers and soldiers getting this thing mutilated by Pakistani this thing. So it was happening that time in Siliguri sector. So I was with one of the field ambulances. And by that time, since mobilization would have been there, so we got orders ki like be ready by within 48 hours. So you have to move from here to the J&K part of it. So that was some locations we don't disclose. Obviously. So that was my op location. So you'll be able to move, but you have to be prepared within 48 hours. So we were battle hard and we were trying to make ourselves ready. So this was happening in May and June types. And then actually I first came across I would say the first casualties that I saw was not in J&K. I saw in Siliguri railway station. You have time? Should I speak about that?
हाँ सर बिल्कुल. टाइम है आपके पास.
So like we were getting prepared for like getting a whole unit regiment mobilized from this side to the J&K part of it. Ready, and suddenly on say that was the date I remember, that 22nd June 1999. यहाँ पे ऑफिस बहुत जोर से चालू था वेस्टर्न सेक्टर और पूरे नॉर्दर्न सेक्टर में, and we were in that sector, and there was a blast which was carried out by ISI with the help of ULFA. An RDX there was a blast on platform number 2 and 3. There were 2 trains, Mahananda Express and Darjeeling Express, where the military coaches were there, and they were moving from this side to that side, the mobilization. So these guys were knowing about it, so they put up injury. So, and I was, I got the call at around 12:25, 12:30. Ki, doc, where are you? We are called as doctors. Sir, just preparing my QRT. Just take out with a QRT, rush there to NJP, and you are the nearest doctor, go there. And I, sir, I'll tell you, within 10 minutes we were there. And that was a sight, a ghastly sight. It was very scary. There were 9 casualties. Out of that, 3 were soldiers, 6 were civilians, and 65 were wounded. I was the only doctor out there. So now you see the railway station, and I was an officer also. So I have to manage the crowd also. I have to treat the patients also. I have to barricade everything, because civil authorities actually were not there that time. Nobody had come in between. So then you have to take the role of everything. So that side was a bit, which is there in my mind. And then what we have to, we do a triage kind of thing, whom to treat first, who can actually survive. Suppose somebody, so that's a triage which could be a bit emotionally, could be bad also, but you have to be practically correct. So I try to did that, and then of course I started initially treating my Faujis who were injured, and then the nearest hospital was at Bengdubi, so I shifted them or evacuated them to that place because the surgeons and physicians were there. I did just give the first aid so that they start off with the therapy, they are comfortable and they go their types, which whatever we could do. Then I started treating all the civilians who were also injured. And then the railway hospital was also there, the district hospital also came in. Then later on their people also started coming. So in that way, collectively with the civil authorities, we could treat or evacuate all the 65, those who were injured, and the other people who were not there, so we had to take them back to our homes.
तो आपने तो व्हाटएवर आप कितने महीने थे सर वो कारगिल वॉर तो?
अच्छा, ये तो आपको बताया कि कारगिल वॉर चल रही उधर थी, बट हम थे यहाँ पे, बट आई सॉ द फर्स्ट इंसिडेंट ऑफ दिस थिंग, बट इन अ डिफरेंट सेक्टर, though it was Kargil only that time, of which I was there. And since my unit was supposed to mobilize, but what happened, I got a different posting order to an air defense regiment.
Okay.
And within a week, this 22nd June, I was moved from that place. My regiment was there, but only I was moved out from there to the western sector in Badmer, Uttarlai. Air defense line. Right now, if you see all the incoming drones and everything, so those are the people who actually fight those incoming, whoever is coming, like aircrafts or the drones or any other missiles. So I became a medical officer of the 40th Air Defense Regiment, which was in Uttarlai and Jaisalmer. So in that sector, just giving a broad idea of the locations.
Right.
So I went there. I was in the midst of the the preparations or everything which was going on in the western sector. Now, why the western sector was very important? See, the fighting was actually going on, if you say the Dras sector, Tololing, Dras, Batalik, that you know, or Leh Ladakh kind of thing, because that is a hilly kind of thing. So there, our intention was to defeat those people at the high ground, achieve the, because there are 130 posts which has been actually taken over by the Pakistani people only.
Right.
So we were fighting them, but this was a posturing kind of thing, the strong posturing. From here we can attack. We do have a strike corps. If anything happens, if it escalates, the war escalates in a big way, it can happen, because this was the first time two nuclear powered nation were actually fighting a conventional warfare.
True.
So now what to do? So this was a sector where we are deployed and on the edge, ready to attack and just take over kind of thing on that side. So Vijay was something, in a different form. But finally, Nawaz Sharif, he just gave in to what Bill Clinton said. Bill Clinton was, actually they decided, he was called on 12th of July. Today is 12th of July. So that was the day like Nawaz Sharif was, called there and he was told, just stop the thing kind of thing. So that they're being deployed in the airfield, I just started seeing that, MiG-21s, you would have heard about us. That's a basic thing. That was the warfare flights. So I'll tell you about, it's a huge, it's a long stories actually, big thing, but everything was fantastic types. Being there, trying to see, and you're trying to, give your best to save the nation kind of thing, whatever form it is.
आप हिली एरियाज पे मैक्स एल्टीट्यूड पे कैसा होता है सर ट्रीटमेंट एंड वॉरफेयर और सब चीज़ें?
High altitude, what happens is, one is the basic thing is acclimatization. So that is one thing. The moment you go, say above some feet, say if you say 10,000 and above feet, like Leh. So acclimatization is very important because it's not the height. It's basically the rarefied oxygen. So oxygen is not there. Now, if you suddenly jump into that place and start doing something, you are troubling your body, and you might go into that high altitude pulmonary embolism or pulmonary edema or brain edema also. So you should be gradually reaching that high altitude. So that the warfare is a bit different, because first you get acclimatized to that height and then you start doing whatever you want to do.
True. कारगिल के समय सर कुछ कॉफिन स्कैम हुआ था शायद.
See, like I think Fernandez, you're talking about George Fernandez, right?
Probably.
See, what happens when there's a local purchase suddenly done because of some kind of things. So it happens, could happen, but I don't know about those kind of, because I was not aware of that. We were already in the warfare. But somehow I feel like there's the opposition or the people who are actually trying to find faults with the establishments. So it can be made a big issue. But it's something like beyond my understanding that time as a medical officer or as a Fauji, what's happening into the government or somebody criticizing the government part of it.
जब आप सर वापस आते हो फ्रॉम,
हाँ जी सर,
आपने रिटायरमेंट ले लिया, PTSD बहुत बार बोलते हैं होता है, तो आपके साथ ऐसा कुछ हुआ था सर?
PTSD actually, like when I was there in the services, so it was not a very big issue kind of thing, because we were not aware of that also. But yes, it used to happen, like whenever I used to see, even in a Diwali, I remember whenever a big Sutli bomb used to be blasted, so I used to, get a feeling that somebody is attacking me kind of thing. So if you say, if that is PTSD, I'm not very sure. But for 1 or 2, 3 years after that also, during any blasts which were happening at normal this thing,
right.
So I used to get a feeling like I have to be alert. I used to get up and say something is happening kind of thing.
But the PTSD, सालों से हम देख रहे हैं कि वेस्टर्न कल्चर्स में people in combat जब वापस आते हैं, they suffer from PTSD and they are taken through a process जिसमें आपका civilian rehabilitation simple हो जाए. हमारे यहाँ इन सब चीज़ों की उतनी बात नहीं होती है.
नहीं,
ऐसा शायद हो रही होगी.
ऐसा नहीं समीर, कैसा नहीं, it's basically the times. See what is happening right now. If you see the technology part of it also, the development, everything is happening there. Even like that psychological analysis, treating somebody who's coming from that combat zone, it is there. But what happens ki it is the unit which takes over first, like the commanding officer, somebody else who is there, who are more mature, so they will try to look after the jawans, or they will try to help. So we have got in a regiment there's a priest also. So that priest also actually gives good summons about everything. He's a common priest. So like those people are there, and then you've got the medical facilities. So if suppose somebody is really wanting some kind of attention, it is not he won't get any attention.
Right.
Initially, like as a medical officer, I'll try to give him some kind of comfort, and then if the person is beyond my level, then I'll shift him to the psychiatrist, so that get kind of counseling and you can do good something about it. Okay. It is there, it is always there, but only thing like awareness is much more now than what it was say 30 years back.
You have seen death very closely, sir, and I'm
absolutely, sir. Even myself also.
Exactly.
Also.
You have.
I've seen my buddies also not being there.
What does that do to a person, sir, after so many years?
Well, what happens once you are there with somebody and the next moment you find he's not there? So what comes to your mind? I think it's more of something like this shouldn't have happened. Revenge part of it, somewhere it comes. You're more charged up to do something better also. You forgot about your own comforts and you try to, take part in some activities to make the family members of that person more comfortable in some warmth, the parents or somebody else also. So there are many things which are happening in the mind, but in that if you're actually in the combat zone, you maybe practically have to move further ahead than actually take care of it. Somebody else would take care of the other person. So, it like when I was injured, so nobody would be there continuously with me, no. They can't think, our medical doctor is injured, so we should be with him. So yes, you are evacuated to the hospital, and then they start fighting in the different front only.
कैसा लगता है सर कि you have seen a side of life, human nature, जो बहुत से लोग ने नहीं देखा है, and you have come back, you are a war wounded veteran. कैसा लगता है सर?
Feels great. Whatever I am because of that. Whatever the Fauji life that I did, that is one thing. And you carry that respect at every place. You get that respect from everywhere. And it's very great feeling that somehow you were able to do something for the nation. And wearing the olive green, it gives a different kind of that proud feeling. You always get it.
सिस्टम की बात करते हैं.
हाँ जी सर.
और आप जो है 1 रैंक 1 बेंच है, उसके ऊपर बहुत बार बातें होती हैं. आपको क्या लगता है?
So 1 rank 1 pension का कैसा है सर? Like if I see कि before 1971, so the pensions of the defense forces was it was decided at whatever the percentage kind of thing. And if you feel ki like a defense officer or a defense soldier, he needs to get something, so that should be given. That is one thing, because they are not just working. It's not a job. They are doing a job much more because they are trying to give their life also for the nation. If you are telling them to go and fight, other person of any services, they are not going to get themselves killed. Here he is blindly following the orders. I started to, in the very beginning only I said, we are just following orders. So now that person, if they are not looked after by the government, so is it right? So now the policies which are there, so which we are not the right, or I am not the right person to analyze whether this policy is good or which is not correct, or if there are some flaws into it. There could be flaws in something, but the government is actually doing a great thing. They have been always looking after us. They are doing good. Initial also it was good, but now this government has actually made things very comfortable for the defense forces.
वो सर अग्निपथ स्कीम में इतना ब्लोबैक क्यों मिला था सरकार को? What was the problem, sir?
See what happens, a regiment has got a system. It's the ethos or the what you say is the culture of the regiment. फौज में जितने भी होते हैं ना, उनका एक टिपिकल एक पैटर्न होता है. सो यू हैव टू लर्न दोज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स. यू गेट इम्बाइब इन टू द कल्चर ऑफ द रेजिमेंट, whether it's a Gurkha regiment, Rajputana Rifles, or Sikh infantry regiment or something else. So now what happened in 4 years, so 75% people are not getting back the jobs. So 25% are getting involved in back to the forces, so they learn. And 75% are supposedly actually that Agniveer part of it. That's, I think you're talking about that only. So Agniveer, what happens ki after 4 years, if you are left out, then what to do?
Exactly.
So what my suggestion, this is my personal thing.
Why not?
There should be one recruitment. Get everybody done through Agniveer only.
Achha.
After 4 years, you retain the best for the defense forces. They are trained soldiers. They are everything. Rest 75, why should you have another recruitment for the CRPF? Why should you have another recruitment for the police? This is already a trained guy who's absolutely shown his integrity, loyalty, and that whatever is the thing for the government and for the country. So you just put him into the lateral establishments में आप जहाँ वहाँ ले लो आप उनको
जहाँ वैकेंसी
आप उनको 10% बताते हो बट 10% मिलता नहीं उनको डायरेक्ट उसको 4 years की उसके साथ 5th year की सीनियरिटी के साथ उसको ज्वाइन करो वाई डू अगेन मेक हिम समथिंग लाइक अ बिलो हिज रैंक व्हाट ही वाज वर्किंग इनटू इट सो व्हाई हैव मल्टीपल यू कैन सेव लॉट ऑफ मनी आल्सो ओनली हैव वन this thing recruitment for all the military and paramilitary services. After 4 years, those who want to join the defense forces, continue with them. Those who don't want, you give them lateral entry to some other things. There are so many other things, and you won't find a better soldier than him.
Exactly. I mean,
so that's what my perception is. But I'm not in the government, no.
I know.
So, but I somehow feel that it can be a very simple kind of thing. Right now, what you have another police recruitment. So he might be from say Uttar Pradesh. So you just Uttar Pradesh, he applies for the Uttar Pradesh police and he's taken out there only. And he should that continuation of his services should be there because 4 years is done. So you know that you will find more people joining up.
फिर से एग्जाम देने की जरूरत
एग्जाम और ये ट्रेन सोल्जर है सर इसने कॉम्बैट देखा है 4 साल में उसने ट्रेनिंग किया है 4 साल में उसने फील्ड में काम किया है 4 साल में अपने कंट्री को जो आप वेयर वी आर स्लीपिंग पीसफुली सो ही इज द वन हु इज गार्डिंग अस सो ही हैज बीन देयर डन दैट सीन दैट गिव हिम अ बेटर opportunity.
No better person for the job
yes.
than this one.
Well, he could be a much better, like you give him the training or the particular, suppose he joins the police forces, you give him the policing part of it, whatever is the training, you give him impart that training, he'll learn faster. So why have multiple recruitments? I don't know, it could be there, but that's my personal, this thing.
Which was a very beautiful suggestion, sir. Really nice.
But suggestion like we don't go into the policies part of it. Obviously. But yeah, so what happens? This is out. But yes, the defense forces also requires it might in the 4 years like it is there. You can have 25% people. You can recruit more number of people. True. At the same time, those who are retained in the service and the other people go into the as a lateral entry to other forces.
When did you decide to come back to Nagpur, sir?
Sir, I did a short service from 95 to 2000. So like that was a time I realized ki like I have been in the uniform. And it is time to give my services at some other locations also. So where is do some community services, do something for the normal country people also. So that in 2000 left the services and then I came back to Nagpur, sir. I'm from Nagpur. My family is from Nagpur. As I said, we are the 4th generation Fauji officers from Nagpur, all medical officers. So I'm back to Nagpur, sir, after that.
So you have your path lab, sir. You're a pathologist now. How do you manage, sir?
Well, sir, once I came back, I did my post-graduation from MGIMS Sevagram. I did my MD from there. I went to Tata for my oncopathology training. And after doing that, I started my lab in my first diagnostic center pathology lab in Nagpur at Nicholas Tower. So that was in 2003. So from there, slowly, you know, that thing was, Army had given me a few things. Yeah, the discipline part of it, you have to do it, you have to give your best, you perform well, you do things in the right way, the correct ways. So, you know, all those things were there and Fauj had imparted, karte rehna hai, chhodna nahi hai. So, you know, all those kind of things. So that's why we could there and I had the reputation because I was carrying the Fauji major rank also. So people also helped me in a big way. All the doctors were there, the civilian people were there, they were also like, you know, you carry that weightage. Major Shantanu Mukerji. So, you know, it makes a difference. Yeah, in case you'll get the good quality reports. So that's what we are.
Barabar. And now you have 7 branches?
Sir, I have got 5 branches in Nagpur and 2 in Gondia. Okay. So in that way, I have got 7 branches.
तो अभी आप फ्री टाइम में क्या करते हैं आप आपकी यू हैव अ हार्ली डेविडसन एज वेल आप उसका भी
सर ऐसा है कि लाइक अब once you are there so you want to have a say live your life also in some forms. Absolutely. In other than everybody wants to pursue their hobbies also.
Absolutely.
So you know, and the soldier in me always had was something like कि थोड़ा सा thrill should also be there. So I do ride a Harley and I do have it, and right now I'm the secretary of Harley Davidson in this region.
कौन सा है सर?
Epicenter, this thing which is there, we have got a center out
which
there.
Harley do you have?
I got a Softail Deluxe, so that's a 1800cc 107 मिलवाई के इंजन.
मैं फैट बॉय का बड़ा शौक है, अभी आती नहीं है आई थिंक फैट बॉय.
नहीं फैट बॉय, so is a similar kind of thing, only that thing. I have got, this is a cruiser bike. So cruiser bike is something, you know, and since I was in the Fauji, you know, I was always, you know, fascinated by Second World War movies. So Second World War movies, and they had the bikes. So bikes, the BSAs and everything. So they had a spoke kind of things and white wall tires. So this bike which I own is something, it has got spokes, it has got white wall tires, it looks antique, but though it's absolutely modern, but it looks antique. So somehow, it suits my image also.
Lovely.
I feel happy about it.
मैं सर 2 साल पहले आई वॉज अबाउट टू बाय फैट बॉय,
Okay.
बीवी ने रोक दिया सर.
नहीं सर, अरे सर, Harley something,
I know.
it's like when you ride a Harley, the sound, it's like meditation also, one thing.
100%.
Second thing, you introspect so many things when you're riding, you make a lot of friends also.
100%.
And gives a feeling like you are, something you have another passion also to it.
100%. I know what you're saying. गोल्फ का शौक कब लगा सर?
Golf, देखिए सर, ऐसा है कि अब जब labs were there, so we could manage things. I started off with one technician. So now we have more than 80-90 people working for us in all the branches. So now slowly I started getting time also, because the system was getting decentralized. Other people started working and I was getting free time. So then I thought, let me pursue some passions also of sports. See, ultimately, like what Samir is, we all going for fitness kind of thing. So basic fitness starts from walking, running, cycling, everything, or playing cricket or anything. So those were there. Then I thought I should, have a sport which suits me also. So something like, and then golf came into my mind. So from 2015 onwards, I was playing for the last 11 years. And I feel happy playing. We have got 2 beautiful golf courses in Nagpur. One is with the Air Force, one is with the Army. And since I am a defense officer, so I am basically a member of both the clubs.
You get access to both of them.
Yeah, I'm a member of both the clubs. But though I can go outside also and play outside Nagpur also, whenever I go to some other for tournaments also, I go outside. So there you can play also.
Oh. What is a perfect day for you, sir? आपको अभी आप ब्रेक लेते हो, बाहर जाते हो, would you prefer?
Perfect day में तो सर मेरे पास बहुत कुछ है. Morning में what I'll do, I'll go and play golf. I get up, then I'll come back and spend time with the family, right, for lunch part of it up to there. Then what I'll do, as you said, Harley, I'll say let me go out for a ride. I'll go to go towards Multai side of it, 100 kilometers around that side. I'll stop at a dhaba, have a paratha and that chai of the dhaba, sit there for some time and again come back. And then evening, of course, could be some music with friends.
क्या
So friends के साथ ऐसा है ना सर, लाइफ में वो भी तो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है.
बहुत important.
दोस्त जो है अल्टीमेटली वही आपको जानते हैं, वही आपको समझते हैं. उनके साथ अगर हम पर्सनल कुछ शेयर करेंगे तो लाइक मी एंड माई वाइफ, वी आर like together types always there. So we go to either the club or some place where the friends are there, sit together, chat together, talk about, just laugh and then come back. I think that's a thing, we work life balance and sports and everything outdoors, that's how it is.
क्या बात है सर. Before I let you go,
Sir.
I'm going to ask you a few questions.
What is it?
ऐसा rapid fire जैसे.
So should I be worried about it?
नहीं ऐसे ही quick
बोले सर.
वन थिंग आप जो कारगिल में सीखे जो आप कहीं नहीं सीख सकते थे.
हाँ, that is one thing, the camaraderie of the men. Like when you are, or I will say in a combat zone, Kargil, Northeast, inside anywhere. So there you're working, whichever profession you are there. So that bonhomie between your men and you, the togetherness and that love and affection, which might be shown in a lot of movies also, it is shown. So that is one thing, which is imbibed in our brain. It is there. You are there, they are also there with you. We all together kinds. हम एक फैमिली है, बहुत बड़े फैमिली. फौज इज समथिंग बिग फैमिली.
अभी कोई टच में है सर आप?
अरे आई एम टोटली इन टच. आप तो जैसे लाइक आई सेड गोल्फ, आई गो फॉर ऑल द रेसिंग डेज. इफ यू सी माय लास्ट रेजिमेंट वाज 48 एयर डिफेंस. वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट व्हेन वी वर इन द वेस्टर्न सेक्टर पार्ट ऑफ इट. सो विद देम आई गो फॉर द, आई वाज इन लुधियाना रिसेंटली इन मे. सो आई एम देयर विद देम. आई in touch with other officers, other regiments also. And Nagpur sub-area is there. That's a military establishment. So they have started out with the other activities also, where we interact, we be in touch with other people, where we try to help the people who are in. There are many war widows, or there are many people who require some help in some form. We try to help them out. So हम लोग काफ़ी टाइप फौज के जितने भी है सर्विसमैन जो है, एक्स सर्विसमैन के साथ, दोनों साथ वी आर ऑलवेज इन टच. फौज इज़ वन प्लेस वेयर वेदर यू आर इन सर्विस और वेदर आउट ऑफ सर्विस, यू आर ऑलवेज टेकन केयर ऑफ दैट बिग फैमिली, दैट विद दैट सेम लव एंड अफेक्शन.
क्या बात है सर. द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट पार्ट ऑफ योर सर्विस सर?
Service is something like initially I'll say about the blast injury. So that is the time I was, I was injured. I was on the stretcher. I wanted to treat the other people who were injured, but I couldn't treat them because, I was absolutely injured. But mentally I said no. I was thinking about them only, but I was just giving instructions with my oral this thing कि ये कर लो वो कर लो, but मैं actually physically कुछ नहीं कर सकता.
वन थिंग सर, सिविलियंस को सब हमेशा सोल्जर्स के बारे में गलत चीज़ जो लगती है. What do people get wrong?
नहीं, people don't get it. There are few projected things, I would say.
Exactly.
Projected things में like they feel कि ऐसा होना चाहिए, but somehow they should understand कि 90% of the Fauj is a very difficult kind of thing. 10% is their parades, 10% is their privilege which they get, 90% is the sacrifices. So first of all, they are sacrificing their lives in the combat zone. Second thing, they are away from their family. Which services actually says कि आप उसमें रहो. So that isn't that a big sacrifice? Third thing, if we say कि a soldier, soldier he retires in 15 years of service. If you see a normal peon of any government service, they are retired at 58, 60. So by 35, this guy is out of service in normal thing course also. So they are doing a lot of service. Then again, they have to re-establish themselves. So it is tough. So this is the thing they should understand. So one not think what happened ki just because one influencer or one journalist says ki okay, they are having this life, so that's why it is. It's not right. So I feel ki they should, but not everybody. Few people are there who think on those lines. Maybe we need to just to educate them. Come sir, आइए सर, आप हमारे साथ आइए. आपके भाई भी हम लोग हमारे साथ आइए. आप देखिए एक बार क्या होता है.
अगर कोई यंग पर्सन इज जॉइनिंग द डिफेंस सेक्टर, आप क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगे उसको?
अरे सर, दैट्स द बेस्ट थिंग दैट ही कैन डू. So whatever is his profession, like even if he's joining the infantry, if he's joining medical service or any other services, like you are doing service and service to the nation also, where you're putting not yourself first, you're putting the nation first. That's the best thing.
Right.
And you would never get that patriotic feeling once you are, it's the biggest thing that you achieve is the patriotic feeling once you're in the defense forces.
Legacy का क्या मतलब है सर आपको?
Legacy, legacy is like a positive kind of thing. Whatever you do, like it's my legacy of establishment, something, a legacy of my education part of it, or legacy of something. So that is what you want in a positive way to continue, get imparted to the next generation or next people who are working for you. So that's how the legacy runs.
Right. Any closing thoughts, sir?
Closing thoughts, I would say,
if your people whom you worked with, your fellow brothers, अगर कोई देख रहा होगा, what would you tell them?
I just love them. I am still in awe of the defense forces, though I have left, it's almost 26 years that I've left the services, but still I feel that I'm still in the services, though I'm in touch with them in every way. So it's a great feeling that we have. And one more thing which I want to say is, see, like the moment you are out of the services, but still the army or the armed forces treats you always as a family. You are never treated as an outsider. The civil life, many a time you said that civilians are criticized. It's not that. You go outside, you tell them I'm a Fauji, they will always give you that kind of respect. See, 99.9% gives you respect. 0.1, it might happen. Once in a while, it's just a normal thing. It was just a misunderstanding between two people. But otherwise, we get all the, that honor, that respect, that everything from everyone. And Fauj is something, they're always there to take care of you, wherever you are.
क्या बात है सर. It was lovely knowing you, sir. Thank you for your time. And बहुत I think I have to process this अच्छे से. A doctor and a fourth generation Fauji, the kind of things you've seen, amazing, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm grateful to you,
sir.
Dr. Sameer, for inviting me. It's my pleasure. I should be, I'm absolutely overwhelmed. And something like I feel like whatever you're doing is great for the place also, great for our kind of people also. You are putting us into a platform where we are seen, where we are heard also.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for
कुछ डिनर करे सर.
बस